Welcome to Deeper Perspectives, the greatest spearfishing podcast on the internet. Today you got my catcher of Hatch Custom Spear Guns. I'll let him take it from here.
Well, I'm Mike Hatcher, and today I'm going to show you guys the gun that I use when I dive all the time. This is a 55-inch Ulua gun, enclosed track. So I use, on this gun here, you can see that I'm using a white powder-coated Alexander handle. It has the white epoxy graphite hatch track on it. One of the key features that I use on all my guns is I use a fully stainless steel trigger mechanism, very similar to the Alexander trigger. One of the key things that makes this gun such an accurate gun is the balance between the shaft, the length of it, and its weight, as well as the length of the bands. Right now I'm using a 9/32 shaft with 5/8" bands, black bands. The black bands are a little bit tighter and stronger than any of the other colored bands. The guns are all tapered, so from the front of the reel mount, where it's 4 inches forward of the handle, all the way to the muzzle, the guns are all tapered, so that way it gives it a little better trackability underwater. It's available in 45-inch, 50-inch, 60-inch, and then there's also a blue water gun that's available that starts at 65 inches and all the way up to 72 inches. This is actually a very large reef gun that I built for myself. It's a 60-inch gun that can shoot 3 bands, and I put wings on it just for stability and for balance, because I will be shooting this with a lot of power. I primarily use it to hunt like the moose and ukus out here, fish that might sometimes need a longer shot. One of the guns that I'm doing right now for a dive shop out of Florida, it's called Blue Water Sensations. I do the Amaro series, and that was Jerry Guerra came to me with an idea and a concept in a gun and kind of drew it out on paper, and from there I kind of did a couple little tweaks because I told him that I've already built almost the exact same gun and made the necessary changes to make it mechanically functional. And so I actually have one of those right here, so without the handle though. And the neat thing about this, the reason why it's called the Amaro, is it's the tie between American and European kind of a gun, where it's not as tall as it is wide. It's pretty much the only Euro style gun that's on the market that has a fully enclosed track on it as well. Here we have, basically, we're showing the difference between the two different types of tracks. You have the textbook traditional open track, which has been available for years, ever since the spear gun was designed and invented. Then you also have an enclosed track. The key benefit of it is on an open track, it basically sits on top of the track and in the track and loads. The enclosed track, it actually sits, you have to load it from the front, and it actually is encased inside the track. So kind of like how a bullet comes out of a gun, the barrel of a gun. So you can actually turn the gun upside down and not have to worry about your shaft slipping out all the time. And it's a little more of a snug fit, we have done some tests in the pool to show that there is additional accuracy benefits. You have 3 different types of material to make enclosed tracks out of. Some people make their enclosed track just out of the wood. They'll just take a closed ball bit and route their enclosed track straight through the wood. Then there's Delrin. There's Delrin, which is a material that's very similar to like your cutting board type of material, but it's very expensive. And then there's epoxy graphite. And the benefit to epoxy graphite is it's quiet. It doesn't have very much friction. So when the shaft comes out, it comes out nice and smooth, as well as quiet. But it's also a material that's bonded to the wood, versus like your Delrin. A lot of people will just route a track that the Delrin slides into and then glue it to it, or so on and so forth. Whereas with this, it's actually a piece of the gun, and it's as much of a piece of the gun as the wood is.
All right, that pretty much wraps things up. Thanks a bunch, Mike, for putting on a show. Maybe you loved it, maybe hated it. Questions, comments, send them somewhere else. I don't really want to deal with it.